What is up, everybody? This is the first episode of Real Talk with Radio and Productions, hosted by yours truly, T. We're not really positive on a set schedule for this yet, but this is just a taste of future podcasts to come. Stay tuned. Welcome, everybody. Here we are for the first episode of Real Talk with Radio M, hosted by yours truly, with my very great guest, MK3. So, MK, tonight's topic is the start of Radio M Productions.
Mm-hmm.
And what I kind of want to start us off with is just the entire background and what led up to Radio M Productions in your mind, in your words.
Okay.
So,
Radio Productions all started when I was really, really young, about like elementary, like 6 or 7, because growing up I was very aware of I was very aware of media in general.
mm-hmm.
I was very aware of how music was everywhere. It was in movies, it was in cartoons. Music would pop up lyrically and symbolized in like comics on pages of paper, like on pieces of paper.
Mm-hmm.
And the number one thing that you listen to music on at the time, before like iPods and stuff, was the radio. And the radio, of course you listen to it before you go to school and stuff. And I was like, man, media starts with the M. And the radio is worldwide. And what helped me realize that the radio was worldwide was I watched that movie with Adam Sandler. We had it on VHS, The Wedding Singer.
Mm-hmm.
And The Wedding Singer, the end credit song was Video Killed the Radio Star. And it hit me very hard as a kid at that young age, like, man, because I'm watching a movie. It has music, and it's talking about how video killed the radio star, and that means it took over worldwide for the radio.
Yeah.
And the radio is worldwide, and that helped me figure out, like, worldwide media. What's a play on words to say worldwide media without having to use the word worldwide? And I thought using radio instead of media, just use the word M. It sounded catchy in my mind. I used to tell people that all the time, like, dude, that's a Radio M drawing. I'm a part of Radio M, it wasn't a thing back then. I'd just be like, I don't know about you, man. NWO, whatever other fan base there is, I'm Radio M. They're like, Radio M? Radio Media. They're like, I thought it was Radio Matthew, your name's Matt. No, it's media. You get your stuff straight.
That's solid. That's actually a really solid entire background for it. And that's actually a really cool play on words there. And that's something I never would have thought of growing up. I mean, and now that you say it, it's just like in your face awareness of it all.
Yeah, it's crazy because no one's ever going to figure it out unless you tell them.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So, and from there, what were some of the first things that like went on with Radio and Productions that led us to the point where we are now?
One of the things about Radio and Productions is that I was going to make it mainly because I couldn't really do anything. I couldn't sing. At the time, I didn't know how to play any instruments. I had a guitar, but I was never going to learn how to do it. Not at that age. At that age, I didn't really care about music. At the time, I did care a lot about comic books. And one of the first early designs for Radio M was, like, Marvel had its Marvel logo in the red brick with the big white letters. And then there were some Marvel comics, like their Marvel Phase 2 comics, where they had like Spider-Girl and stuff, and it was just the red block with the M there.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, just kind of copy and paste that, have instead of a red block, it's a blue block, you put the M there, and put radio on top of it. And at the same time, with that same mindset, I was thinking about just going straight into comics. And I would draw, at the time, like my own version of superhero stuff. Like, I made my own series called Heroes United. Heroes United was like my take on original superheroes and villains that I would create, from Rocky, who could control like rocks, like manipulate and completely control over any type of solid material that was on Earth, you know, kind of like earth bending. And then there was Flame, who's technically like the Human Torch, but his fire powers are more of like Firestorm's level of ability, and things like that. And that's what kind of started off Radio M, was the whole comic aspect of it all.
Yeah. So blue has always been the color for Radio M?
It has always been the color for Radio M.
Always.
That was my favorite color, was blue. You know what made me like the lighter color of blue? I used to love iCarly. Because iCarly was like a whole new definition of like, not children programming, but like a whole new idea for a child in my mind. Because they had their own web series, and I was like, wow, they just had a camera and a place to film it, and they became so big. I know it was a TV show, but I'm just saying, like, dude, the idea of it was really cool. And then her big brother Spencer said, what color is that? He had a paint can. He was like, it's baby blue, the saddest of all blues. And it is a light blue. And I was like, that light blue is actually perfect. Because at first, it was a dark blue. I used to draw a bunch of pictures of like Spider-Man, my version of the Avengers, with the actual logo that I told you about.
Yeah.
Then it would be like a regular blue, but I was like, man, that regular blue makes it seem a lot darker and a lot more mature than what it is. As a kid, I didn't know what the word mature is, but it just didn't look like my kind of style.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, if I was to do it, I'd make it in the style of something that looked more friendlier.
That's where the baby blue came from.
That's where the baby blue came from.
So it started off as comic books, and now here we are doing everything else.
Yeah, we're here doing everything. We went from comic books to manga to trying to make it into an actual thing. This before we did our whole Netflix pilot,
yeah,
it was going to be a web series. Adam Stone Eaton, Brandon Rodriguez, Monaco De Leon, and myself, we were going to make we're planning to make like a web series type thing, for YouTube. And we never really took off on the idea, but we were always talking about it at school and stuff. And we were thinking about doing that for Radio M for a while, kind of have our own kind of like, not laugh track sitcom, but something like as a comedy short series.
Yeah.
And have that start off, and then it turned into the whole. And it went on to a break for a while, and I tried doing the whole manga thing, then I got into work, and I started working, and it wasn't enough time to do it.
Yeah.
Then the pilot came up, like the whole Netflix opportunity came up, and we tried doing that, and then we're here now on YouTube.
Yeah. And so, I'll kind of explain this a little bit for the people who are wondering, like, what are you talking about, Netflix pilot? Whenever I first got brought into Radio M, MK and I, we work currently at jobs side by side, buildings right next to each other. And he messaged me and asked me to go over to his work if I got a break. And I did, and I went over there and was talking to him. And he was asking me to be a producer as well as an actor in a pilot episode for Netflix, is what it was. The pilot episode was called The World Ends With You. And I was like, heck yeah, man, let's hop onto it. So we did, and a lot of people took us somewhat seriously, and others took us as a complete joke about it, I think. Mm-hmm. Well, probably not as a complete joke, but they probably thought, like, oh, this probably is not going to happen.
But they're just talking, there's no action there.
Yeah. So then, the moment we actually started getting serious, we had some people drop out on us. Mm-hmm. And nothing against the people who dropped out at all. Like, nothing against y'all. If y'all are watching this video, like, there's no ill will towards anybody. But so we had to tone it down, back up a little bit, and we relaxed again to build people back up. And as we built people back up and started getting serious again, we lost more people this last time. And that's where I kind of told MK, you know what? We've gone through, we've put a lot of work into this, we've figured out who we can work with, who we can't work with, and things of that nature. So I told him, hey, let's try to do a YouTube channel. And my thought process for it at the time was, The World Ends With You was still going to be done at some point, and it's very possible that we'll reshoot that pilot and try to get it out there, because it's honestly, the idea for the series is just beautiful, but it's all based off of the manga universe he had created, MK had created here. And my thought process for the YouTube channel at first was say, hey, let's pull a lot of those other ideas out of it and just do a YouTube channel based off of that. Well, as we sat and started talking about everything on the YouTube channel, we realized we have quite an array of talents at our disposal, and thought it was a shame not to use them. So that's kind of where we are with that. And the productions part of Radio M, I actually asked them to add on personally, just because with it being Radio M, cool, what does that even do? You say Radio M production, a lot of people will take it as just a single one and done, that's it, they're not going to do anything else. And upon us even talking about it to begin with, Radio M Productions' kind of goal was to be able to help other small timers out to put their stuff out there. And that's still kind of the goal for it. That's why we really take into considerations everyone's comments, what people want to see, and things of that nature. And we really want to build Radio M Productions as a user-friendly company, as well as being able to build ourselves up so that we can reshoot that pilot episode and everything.
Restart what we were trying to achieve with the company at first. So
that's kind of, and then here we are with all sorts of stuff planned. I mean, we have music going on. We've got gaming that we'll get into at some point. We've got these podcasts,
we're gonna start
skits.
We're gonna start doing our own little series.
Sitcom series, pulling characters and kind of disassociating them. Just because, basically just using character names, disassociating them from the original universe. Creating brand new characters for just crazy skits. We've got a lot of stuff on the works. Our social media has a couple of pictures up on it. By this time, hopefully, a decent amount of pictures of us working on everything there. So that's a pretty solid bit going on there. But yeah.
Very solid.
So MK, tell us a little bit about some of the stuff you want to see on the channel, or that we will see on the channel.
One of the things that we're going to see on the channel is, because like on the first video we did for the channel, we mentioned that they're going to see a lot of stuff they probably have already seen, but it's going to be in our own style and our own version of it, which that's technically what most entertainment is. You're seeing the same thing but done in a different way. And hopefully it'll be like, we're thinking about doing like movie reviews or probably video game reviews, but done in a different way, probably in our own different style. Hopefully it'll be entertaining to you guys. Because so far the stuff we've been doing has been pretty entertaining to us, but to get the ultimate approval of the audience is what we're trying to achieve. And another thing we're trying to also shoot for in the future for the channel is, like I said, there's going to be those, like the sitcoms, those series show things. That'll probably take a while for those to actually be put on the channel.
One of the first ones we're planning on doing is actually, it's called The Everyday Life of Daniel and Asim. And the basis for the show is to be two guys that have basically become brothers at this point. One is a scientist, and not necessarily an atheist, but very, very much one of the people who is, I'll believe it when I see it type. While Asim, on the other hand, is in essence a demigod. And he sees and is very into a supernatural universe. And the whole basis of the show is kind of how crazy it is that we see these two guys that are basically the yin and yang of each other, the complete opposites, but are going to somehow work together and it's going to lead to some crazy things that we have planned. We've been working on some scripts. We're still kind of doing a little bit of world building with it, everything else. But it will be a solid A1 show, I can guarantee it. Hopefully.
A solid A1.
Guarantee it ish. If you add ish in, nobody can take you, hold you accountable to it. That's in one of our Patreon exclusive podcasts. So
literally, if there was a drinking game for it, you had to take a drink every single time we said ish at the end of something. So everybody who's playing that game is not going to be able to remember what happened.
They will not. But yeah, so we have some of those planned. Some other things that we kind of have planned are MK3 and DJLs are some decent rappers, freestylers. They're not world best. They're not like go and challenge Eminem type of people at all.
You can't compete with him, no.
But we want to start doing some rap battles between them. And we'd really appreciate if y'all have made any beats that are good for rap battles and want them to be featured in the video. Please email them to us at radiomhq@gmail.com. Just email us the MP3 audio file and who it is and everything.
And we'll mention that you're the people that created it, you're the one that created it.
Yeah, you'll definitely get a shout out for creating it and everything. But the other thing is in the comments, guys, and we'll probably pin a comment and y'all just reply on it. 2 different views on basically the same thing that you'd want to see. We're trying to stay away from political and extremely controversial topics, things that are blowing up, and because the fact of the matter is, we view ourselves as entertainers. And as entertainers, really, y'all don't care about our political views. Y'all might say that y'all do, but truthfully, that's kind of a, if you see us and actually want to sit down and have a conversation about our political views, we might be able to give them, we might not. It just kind of depends.
It's like that line. It's a line where, like, entertainers, you just want to see them entertain because it takes you away from, all those kind of things, and to bring in something.
We're
like
trying to basically just give you a break from your everyday crazy reality, whether it's crazy good or crazy bad or crazy just there. Like overwhelming or underwhelming or just whelming. But that's what we're here to do. We're trying to do that. And some of the other skits that we have some comedy skits that we're working on. We have some slightly more serious toned. Yeah. So.
Battery check. But yeah, that's mainly our goal. Is we're not trying to change the world in that kind of way.
We're just trying to make the world a slightly happier place. Bring a little bit of smiles to people's face.
That joy and a sense of your dreams can become reality in a way too.
Yeah.
Because that's the ultimate thing about the whole production company. A production company is nothing without the ideas of others.
Alrighty guys, so we're actually going to have to take a quick break here. The camera is running low on battery. And we will get back to y'all right in a moment.
About to switch it out right now.
Luna, I'm freaking thirsty. Can you go get me a drink? Do you know how to get a drink? What are you staring at?
She's staring at me, man!
What is going on here?
If you're thirsty, man, you should try drinking out of one of these unofficial Radio M Productions products. This is called the Radio M Productions Go Cup. Drink nice cold drinks in this Go Cup.
That looks like a cup that's been note-taped.
It is, but it's an official product. I mean, an official, unofficial product from Radio M Productions.
What does it even say on it?
It says Radio M Productions.
My glasses on, I can't see.
Rest Talk with T.
What is Rest Talk? What is going on here? Ooh, it does seem pretty cold though.
Yes, it's very.
Radio and Productions present. That says real talk with T. Come
Well,
on.
I'm glad you can read it, customer. It's customer approved. You seen it here first, everybody.
Oh, wow.
Official on the pro, but official radio and
It's
product.
unofficial Radio and Productions product.
It is
You
great.
will most likely see it in most radio and videos. Very keeps things pretty cold. I don't know if that's the actual cup or just the duct tape or what, but hey, it cures all the thirstiness.
It cures all the. That's an official customer.
Review. Then
You'll see that on Yelp. And also, if you get one,
you will not see that on Yelp.
When you get one, that's an Amazon review comment. If you
get a
it'll be blue. It'll be baby blue.
possibly.
Because green is not our color, but I knew this customer liked green. I'm supporting customers.
I don't like green.
That's very. I don't want to do this anymore. Give me back my Productions cup. You don't deserve nothing to drink. You can thirst for all I care.
That has been
this commercial.
that has been a beautiful commercial for an unofficial Radio and Productions product. Now, enjoy your regularly unscheduled scheduled program.
How do I get out of this house?
I don't know. I'm trapped here. I can never leave. Alrighty, and we are back with Real Talks with Radio and Productions. So before we dive back into the whole start of Radio and Productions, we'll talk a little bit about our mascot for the channel here. This is Luna, and the whole story behind getting Luna only happened because Radio and Productions was a thing. So DJ Els, he works at a supermarket, which we're not going to say the name of for obvious reasons, and he got off of work one night, and he was about to get in his truck to come on over to here so that we could start filming and everything. He opens up his door, and a little dog jumps into his truck. He gets a leash from inside said supermarket, and he walks her around for like 2 hours, I want to say, asking everyone around if they know whose dog this is and everything like that. And nobody claimed her or anything. He wanted to take her to the Animal Rescue Center, but the Animal Rescue Center here in small town Texas, typically pretty full, but also it's kind of a late at night thing. It's hard to get a hold of people, and that's just people in general, and that's just how it works. It was probably 10 o'clock at night almost. So that happens. We don't want to take her to the pound because once they're in the pound, that's it. She's part pit, and you can tell just by looking at her. So I told good old DJ Els, I'll take her in for a night. Just one night. That's all I was planning on taking her in for. And that was a few months ago. But we got Miss Luna here. Took her in. Didn't give her a name or anything for a little while. And realized she's basically house trained. Put her all over Facebook and everything like that. Didn't get anything. Kept her for 2 weeks before actually giving her an official name. And came up with the name Luna because I'm a huge Harry Potter fan.
I knew it was from Harry Potter. He didn't have to tell me. I was like, is that a Harry Potter character? And he's like,
MK has never seen Harry Potter or read the books. He's
hate
weird.
Me. Don't hate me, okay? I've never found interest in trying to get started on it.
But I figured since her coat color is considered blue, I was like, yo, who's a dope Ravenclaw to name Luna after? And I came up with Luna. So that's the whole story of Luna. She has been here ever since. She gets mad at me whenever she doesn't get her way. But I spoiled her since I got her here. So that's my fault. But yeah.
She's really spoiled.
She is. She is
Look at
sitting in my lap right now as we're doing this. She also sometimes gets carried around like a chihuahua. because while some people carry little dogs around, I feel like I'd break one of those, and I really don't like Chihuahuas and that. Little dogs are way more violent, in my opinion.
They have a lot to back up for.
So sometimes I pick her up and I carry her around in one arm, and she just kind of goes along with it. I do the same thing with my parents' like 60-pound bulldogs, so that happens. It's no one's fault but the dogs.
Mm-hmm.
They shouldn't be in my carrying range. But yeah.
Carrying range.
Yep. But Luna here, she's a mixed breed. She got a lot in her. We don't know what all. One day we'll find out. That'll be a video all in and of its own. But she is a very loving dog. And the first day that I had her, this is a little bit on the grosser side for those of y'all. Probably skip forward. We'll get the actual time, it'll flash up on screen for what to skip forward a part past this part. When I first got her, she was really bloated. And I didn't think she looked pregnant, but there was a possibility. I was like, oh gosh. Well, the first day I had her, first 2 days I had her, she didn't eat anything or drink anything at all. I'd take her for walks, she didn't go to the bathroom or anything. Finally, she went at number 2, and inside her feces was full plastic bags. Like full out supermarket plastic bags that had wadded up and made it through her intestines. And I'll be honest with you, she went from about that big around to so small I could see all of her bones right after she pooped. And whenever she finally pooped, oh my gosh, you could see so much relief in her. But that was a very, she's not even wanting to think about it.
You're reminding her of the dark past she had.
Oh, don't worry, girl, it's fine. But anyway, come on, lay back down, lay down. Yeah. But yeah, right after that she started eating almost immediately, and now she gets fed like, she's supposed to only be fed like 2 to 3 bowls a day, but sometimes she eats more because she finds out where her food is. That's not my fault. It's definitely my fault. But somehow she can get the lid when it's not on there all the way off, and she eats some that she's not supposed to.
Wow, she's a smart dog.
She is smart. But yeah, ever since then though, she sleeps on my bed every freaking night. The only night she didn't was actually the first night she was here, because she was scared. But she did fall asleep on that couch right up next to me as soon as we got her. There's pictures of it. We'll flash pictures up on the screen, maybe, possibly.
Possibly.
That might not happen. We might just post those on social media.
If we've gotten that far in the whole editing skill set of learning how to put videos with live, with pictures with live video.
Yeah, we'll get something going there. If not, it'll be at the end of the video. Quick little slideshow.
And the song, the original song by Nobody.
Yeah, so. But
that's a really nice story. That's literally our mascot, everybody.
This is it. She is, the only reason she is here is because of Radio M Productions. And this is an original Radio M Productions mascot. And speaking of originals, MK, what original Radio M ideas are going to make it back into the show? Or not the show, the entire channel now. What ideas are coming back?
That is a very great way to send that off. Okay, let's start that off. One of the ideas was I had the manga series Teardrops, and was hoping to later on down the line at least animate the before Teardrops happened. Try to animate some of that, animate some of the stuff that happened within that manga series into the channel somehow. Hopefully do that. one of the other things that I was planning towards um, was there was a cop show idea, not like a Reno 911 type cop show, but it's like a comedy in a way, but not extreme like that. It's more of like Let's Be Cops. Remember Let's Be Cops? You ever seen Let's Be Cops?
Do not believe
That
I've
was
seen
an
it.
actually good movie. It was gonna be like something like that. Those are the other guys. Have you seen the other guys?
Yes.
Mark Wahlberg. Yeah, this is gonna be like that.
Okay.
And not as overly crazy with The Rock and Samuel's parts, but something like that. And call it the Justice Syndicate. And it's gonna be like a parody of like most cop things going on, and kind of have that going. It was something that I was leaning on a lot. I wrote down a lot of stuff for it in middle school and high school, and hopefully that's one of the shows I was hoping that we could make into like probably like 20 to 30-minute episodes at a time once we get things rolling, and probably bring that to life.
Yeah.
And another thing was in the early days of it all, back when I was a sophomore in high school, was do the whole. I had a friend named Charles. He wanted to do like a kind of like a game review type thing, but he had his whole idea for it. Like he had ideas for vlogs and stuff already thought out. And I trusted Charles because Charles had really great ideas. He's really crazy when it comes to like you can tell him something, and he'll turn it into his own thing in a pretty creative way. That I was like, oh, okay, Charles has this under control beyond my comprehension, and hopefully try to bring those things that he had ideas for to life as well, because they were really good ideas, and they were sitting in the books for Radio M for a while. Mm-hmm. And there was also there was something back in middle school that we did for Radio M as well. It was the songs that we used to write. Somehow bring the songs to life. We had songs for a long time written down from middle school and high school that we had no way to pick up on. Hopefully now, since we're diving more into a music aspect and have the music software and have the ability to do more with the music now, hopefully that can come into play and see how that goes.
Cool. I like that. So, going off of that, talking about video times and music and all that stuff, assuming whenever we get videos like that filmed, we'll probably get almost that entire series, try to film it before releasing anything of it, set a time of one episode a week, but we'll probably release a trailer for the entire series at one point, won't we?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
And that'll be for the animated series and everything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing, the music, once we get that, it'll just be a randomly released thing as well, won't it?
Very random.
So, but the video length, you brought up 20 to 30-minute episodes.
Mm-hmm.
What's the average of the videos that we're going to be putting on? Timeline, or length of the videos. What you think videos of different subjects will be?
Within the
channel itself.
Altogether, probably, I want to say after our phase one. Our phase one is going to take place after this whole segment we're doing, because by this point in the channel, we're going to take a different step in trying to change up a little bit the things that we do. Not like really like content-wise, but the way the presentation is in a way, kind of change up the whole intros and outros, work a little bit more on the whole music dynamic and soundtrack dynamic and the whole visual presentation of the channel. We're going to try and fix. Now, I like to call it the phase one. I'm taking it straight from the MCU. Phase one, phase two. Our first round of videos before this video should
be 5 videos in total, isn't it?
Probably like more than that, close to 10.
Before this one?
Mm-hmm. Close to 10. Because I'm gonna release your.
That's right.
All your so that we have all those videos from that different style already released, and it'll be the start of a new style, a more appealing look to it.
That is correct.
So I can work on the better quality and stuff all together.
Heard it from him first.
And I really hate to say that because I would like to jump ahead into it, but then with all that released with those days, it'll give us time in between to study, work on, and we'll have everything completely prepared. People will be like, oh, look, they've totally upgraded. That's a new upscale right there.
There it is.
It's a new upscale. And then those videos, like the videos after this one will be more of, not as long as this one, but will be close to 10 or more minutes. 10 or more, or 10 and a little less, depending on what they are. We'll probably keep our short skits probably 5 minutes or less, and then like features like shorts will be 10 minutes or more.
Yeah. Most of these feature shorts will also, they will have, those characters will be seen elsewhere. Mm-hmm. The short 5-minute ones, they're going to be short, boom, done. Mm-hmm. It's not going to have any set characters. Most of those characters probably won't even have a name. Mm-hmm. But those 10 minutes ones will be shorts. There will be multiple times we see them. We have a lot of characters thought up for them and a lot of cool stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So,
yes.
But yeah.
And so that will be the more of it'll be the more kind of creative, more complex creative side of everything, to where you guys can see the full aspect of what our creative ability will be, a full comprehensive view of it all, you know?
Yeah. Oh goodness.
Oh man. Oh, we're gonna start doing. I want to do a thing, but it's gonna be kind of hard. Cause I never film you when you're doing it. It's like whenever you mess up words. Cause I really want to do a video called Tristan versus the human language, or T versus the human language. So English language, and just
it's a horrible, horrible thing. I sound like I know what I'm talking about most of the time. I really don't make that many mistakes until it happens. But once it happens, it just goes.
It's out of this. Oh, man.
Most of the time, I'm so tired that I don't even remember doing it. Okay. Goodbye. I have hair everywhere now.
She had enough of this.
Don't drink that.
But yeah, there's so much content for us to do. The only real situation about it is us actually filming it and getting it done. Because we both work, and mainly like from like in the morning to the afternoon. Like the latest we get off is like right before, like right when it gets dark too. So we mainly have to do our filming
indoors, and everything of that nature.
So we're gonna try and keep the schedule alive and well.
We've been working on figuring out ways to make sure that everything gets uploaded at certain times. And the first few videos have been us releasing at really terrible times.
Yeah.
Extremely bad times to release videos. But we've come up with ways to fix that. We've got a couple tests running at this point so that we can get them out at pretty solid times. Most of our videos will come out Monday, Wednesday, and Friday.
Yes.
We will definitely have a video released each one of those days. And then Saturdays or Sundays is whenever this longer podcast will be released.
Longer talk segment release.
And this podcast is a little bit, or it's more of a video cast at this point. This one is a little bit more interview style. Most of them are not like that. Just because this one we wanted to get all the information out and try to answer a lot of the questions that a lot of people might have.
So yeah, this one's more of an informative one since it's our first one. Everybody has a lot of questions, and this one's to answer right off the bat.
Talking about that, what are some of the things that we can look forward to coming off of the channel?
Some of the things looking forward? Okay. Content-wise, right?
Content-wise. We've already talked about some sitcoms, and we vaguely talked about everything else. What are some really solid things that we're planning on having.
Like Tristan said about the whole rap battle situation, that I will say will be done in multiple different ways. I will do it in a raw footage version of it, and then whenever you guys start suggesting things to us, probably Matt and I will do a rap battle of it, like record the original rap battle to it, and probably make an interactive video to go with it as well. To just change it up. Okay, you guys probably just don't want to see us straight up, like, no makeup on, just going at it in the morning. I wouldn't want to see that. I probably would, but because it's just.
Wait, you have makeup on right now? I didn't even know that.
It's invisible.
MK, where's
mascara.
makeup?
It's invisible mascara. That's my. It's not even my emo side. It's my Gerard Way style coming up. Okay, it's that idea, and Matt Eller will start releasing these videos with his own music. DJ Els is the one who's going to mainly come up with original music on the channel.
Yes. He already has some music that he is revising at the moment. We've already got ideas for music videos for them. So you will see original music videos. We have a couple of friends who do make music and have asked us to film music videos for them.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got that going as well. We will see music videos. DJ Els mostly does rap. We are currently looking around for other talent as well to just bring awareness to people who are actually really good talent. So,
T said if he was to do anything music-wise, it'd be like a drop beat type beat, and then just him be telling poetry.
poetically speaking,
That poetic justice going on over here.
I don't know about poetic justice, but I know poetically
We'll see.
speaking.
In time, we will tell if
Yeah.
it's poetic justice or not.
I don't have a flow of my own, but I can steal other people's flows, and that's not okay. So,
That actually,
for those of y'all wondering where Luna went, she just went and finished her third bowl of food for today in that short amount of time.
Will that be her final?
Yes, it will be.
Oh, she's sad now.
Yeah, look at her tail between her legs
Wow.
and
That was a.
everything. She's saying she's out of here. She's trying to leave. No, but something else that we'll have coming to the channel. We've talked about the skits and things like that, but we plan on having Real Talk with Radio and Productions, kind of what we have going here.
Mm-hmm.
We have After Hours with Radio and Productions. Now that's going to be slightly more talk showy. I'm actually going to host that one for the most part as well. And it will be us talking about any skits or anything that have come up that week. Much how you see actors on talk shows talking about recent things they've been in and stuff of that nature. But, and I've heard rumors of this, that is it Matt Eller? Or DJ Els?
It's DJ Els that's doing the interviews.
Yeah, so DJ Els is doing interviews of the characters that are in every single one of those skits.
Mm-hmm.
And that should be pretty funny.
That's going to be insane.
That will be a funny thing to watch, so stay tuned for those. Once we get skits going, we will have those going. So, expect those soon. Alrighty guys, so that's actually where we're going to cut it off for tonight. This has been Real Talk with Radio and Productions. That's everything that you should need to know for the formation of Radio and Productions, the origin of at least us three in this room right now. And we do have another video coming out that talks about the Patreon more in depth, and you'll see it whenever it comes out. Not sure when it comes out, but it'll come out soon.
Mm-hmm.
And we hope that you tune in next time. So, any last words, Kim?
I'm glad to be the first guest on the first episode of this.
Yes.
Even though that's not saying much, who else is going to be the first guest on the show? But thank you for
Luna's
having
always
me.
the first guest.
Thank you for having me, everybody. Luna, I hope you enjoy your spot in the spotlight.
Alrighty, guys. Shoot that subscribe button like a radio and tune on in to Radio In Productions. Y'all have a great night.
Tune on in.
It's on.
Perfect.
We should, after we film this, we should do some sort of like crazy little information deal that we can run as a quick little ad in between the two cuts. Because I did say we're gonna take a quick break, so just have something short and funny to go in there.
Just be like this is the first unofficial Radio Productions presents Real Talk with T. It's just not merch. We're just showing you an idea of what it will look like. It'll probably be just like this, something or actual cup wrapped in duct tape with Sharpie. Cause that's production value right there. Be happy. Okay.
Come on. Cool.
Start us off
Alright.
like when we're back.